Mad human. A mad gorilla is loud, but a mad human can be loud too, especially when he's throwing chairs, turning over tables, and breaking the cotton candy machine. Phone call. Mac is kicking trash around the food court when the phone rings. He answers it, red face and sweating. What the? He demands. He glares at me. I don't know what you're... He starts to say, but then he stops and listens. Who? Julia who? He asks. Oh, sure, George's kid. She's the one who called you? More talking. With the phone in his ear, Matt comes closer to my cage, eyeing me suspiciously. Yeah, he says. He paints, sure. We've been selling his art for quite a while now. There's another pause. Yeah, absolutely, it was my idea. Mac nods, and a smile starts to the corner of his mouth. Photos? No problem. You want to see him in action? Come down and have a look. We're open 365 days a year. You can't miss us. We're right off the I-95. Mac picks up the overturned trash can. Yeah, I think he'll be adding more pictures. It's, what do you call it? A work in progress. When the phone call ends, Mac shakes his head. Impossible, he says. An hour later, a man with a camera comes to take my picture. He is from the local paper, the one Julia called. How about you take one of me with the elephant? Mac suggests. He drapes his arm around Ruby's back, grinning and the camera clicks. Perfect, says the man. Perfect, Mac agrees. A star again. A photo of my billboard is in the newspaper. Mac tapes a story onto my window. Each day, more curious people arrive, and they park in the front of the billboard. They point and they shake their heads and they take photos. When they come into the mall and buy my paintings. While visitors watch, I dip my hands in fresh buckets of paint and make pictures for the gift shop. And pictures to add to the billboard. Trees and birds, a newborn elephant, glittering black eyes, a squirrel, a bluebird, and a worm. I even paint Bob, so he can be on the billboard too. I can tell he likes the picture, although he says I didn't quite capture his distinguished look. Every afternoon now, Mac and George add my new pictures to the billboard. People slow their cars while they work. Drivers honk and they wave. My gift shop pictures now cost $65 with a frame. The Ape Artist. I have new names. People call me the Ape Artist or Primate Picasso. I have visitors from morning till night, and so does Ruby. But nothing's changed for her. Every day, 2, 4, and 7, Ruby plods through the sawdust with Snickers on her back. Every night, she has bad dreams. Bob, I say after I soothe Ruby to sleep with a story. My idea isn't working. Bob opens one eye. Be patient. I'm tired of being patient, I say. Interview. That evening, the man and woman come to interview Mac and George and also Julia. The man has a large, heavy camera perched on his shoulder while he films me as I'm making picture. He films Ruby in her cage with her foot roped to the bolt on the floor. Mind if I take a look around, he asks. Mac waves his hand. Be my guest. While Mac and the woman talk, the cameraman walks through the mall. He pans the camera right and down and up and left. While his eyes fall on the claw stick, he stops. He trains his camera on the gleaming blade. Then he moves on. The early news. Mac's turn on TV. We are on the early news at 5 o'clock. Bob says, don't let it go to my head. There we all are, Mac, Ruby, me, George, and Julia on the billboard, the mall, and the ring, and the claw stick. Signs on sticks. In the morning, several people gather in the parking lot, and they're carrying signs on sticks. The signs have word and pictures on them. One has a drawing of a gorilla cradling a baby elephant. I wish I could read. Protesters. More people with signs come in today. They want Ruby to be free. Some of them want Mac to shut down the mall. In the evening, George and Mac talk about them. Mac says they're protesting the wrong guy. He says that he's going to ruin everything. He says, thanks for nothing, George. Mac stomps off. George, holding his mop, watches him leave. He rubs his eyes and he looks worried. Dad, Julia says, looking up from her homework. You know what my favorite sign was. George asks, which one? The one that says, elephants are people too. George gives her a tired smile. He goes back to work. His mop moves across the empty floor food court like a giant brush, painting a picture that no one will ever see. Check marks. Tall man with a clipboard and a pencil come to visit. He says he is here to inspect the property. He doesn't say much more, but he makes many checks and many marks on his paper. He looks at my floor. Check. He examines Ruby's hair. Check. He eyes our water bowls. Check. Mac watches him, scowling. Bob is outside, hiding near the dumpster. He does not want to be on that check mark. Free Ruby. Every day there are more protesters and cameras with bright lights. Sometimes people are carrying signs shouting, "Free Ruby! Free Ruby!" "Ivan?" Ruby asks. "Why are those people yelling my name? Are they mad at me?" "They're mad," I say, "but not at you." A week later, the inspecting man came back with a friend and a woman and a smart dark eye like my mother's. She has a white coat on and she smells like lobia blossoms. Her hair is thick and brown and the color of a rotten branch teeming with luscious ants. She watches me for a long time, then she watches Ruby. She talks to the man. They both talk to Mac. The man gives Mac a sheet of paper. Mac covers his face. He goes off to his office and slams the door. New box. Something strange is happening. The white-coated woman is back with other humans. They place a large box in the center of the ring. It's Ruby size. And suddenly I know why the woman is here. She's here to take Ruby away. Training. The woman leads Ruby to the box. She places an apple inside. "Good girl, Ruby," she says kindly. "Don't be afraid." Ruby inspects the box with her trunk. The woman makes a clicking sound with the little piece of metal she's holding in her hand. She gives Ruby a piece of carrot. Each time Ruby touches the box, she gets a click and a treat. "Why is she making that clicking noise?" I ask Bob. "They do that all the time," Bob says. I can feel he doesn't approve. "It's called clicker training. They want Ruby to associate the noise with a treat. Then when she does something they want, they make the noise, and she gets a treat." "Great job, Ruby," the woman says. "You're a quick study." After many clicks and carrots, they take Ruby back to her cage. "Why is that lady giving me carrots when I touch the box?" Ruby asks. "I think she wants you to go inside," I explain. "But there's nothing inside," Ruby says, "except an apple." "Inside that box," I say, "is the way out." Ruby tilts her head. "I don't get it." "See the picture of the red giraffe on the box?" "I think the lady is from the zoo, Ruby, and I think she's ready to take you there." I wait for Ruby to trumpet with joy, but instead, she just stares in the box in silence. "I'm not sure I understand. That box might be taking you to a place where there are other elephants," I say. "A place where there's more room. And humans who care about you." But even as I say those words, I remember a shudder. The last box I was in. "I don't want a zoo," Ruby says. "I want you and Bob and Julia. This is my home." "No, Ruby," I say. "This is your prison."